Hello, today we're going to be demonstrating how to fit a sink into a worktop as a true flush fit installation. When complete, the sink profile will be rebated into the worktop and will not stand proud above the worktop. Ensure the sink you are using is appropriate for flush mounting. If stainless steel, it should have a flat edge profile. If it is a granite, ceramic or synthetic material, the vertical edge of the sink will need to be ground flat, specifically for flush fit installations. A cutout for a flush fit sink is formed in two stages. Firstly, router the flush fit rebate to suit the steel thickness of the sink. Secondly, router the through cutout. Best results are produced using a Festool router fitted with accurate depth gauge and adequate extraction. Flush fit rebates are best formed using a proven jig supplied by Bushboard. If using your own jig, allow for a 10mm router cutter and a 30mm guide bush. The top of the external edge of the flush fit rebate will be visible, so care must be taken whilst cutting. Before starting, ensure you have the correct tools and materials as listed here. A 2000 watt power rated hand router fitted with accurate depth gauge and a 1/2 inch collet. Dust extractor to suit router. 4 6-inch G-clamps, 1/2 inch TCT router cutters, a standard 30mm guide bush to fit the router, a 40mm guide bush to fit your router, cutout jig to suit the sink, 3 sturdy trestles for up to 2 metre lengths, or 4 sturdy trestles for up to 4 metre lengths, a wood particle baseboard for support, white spirit and clean wipes, appropriate screwdriver to secure the sink clips, a soft scraper, matching sealant such as BB Complete, and a skeleton gun. In all instances, when making a cutout, carefully ensure the full length of worktop is supported. Work on a supported baseboard, ensuring the workpiece and waist is fully supported. The first stage of cutting is to form the rebate. Place the worktop face up and position the jig in place. Centralise and clamp using G-clamps. Insert the jig balancer to avoid router tilt. Ensure there's no power to the router. Fit a 1/2 inch diameter cutter and 30mm guide bush to the router. Place the router on the jig. Plunge down to the worktop surface with a cutter touching the surface. Lock the router and zero the depth gauge. Ensure adequate extraction is fitted to the router also. The flush fit rebate can be cut to the exact depth or cut marginally deeper and packed up using appropriate spacers placed directly above sink clips. Set the router to the required depth and lock the depth gauge. Set the router rotational speed to 18,000 RPM. Now everything is set up, you can start to cut the rebate. Starting from one corner, gently plunge down to the required depth and start routering at a slow, steady pace. Travelling clockwise, allow the router cutter to cut. Router around the entire cutout at least twice to ensure the consistent depth. When routing is complete, remove the balancer only. Do not unclamp or remove the jig. Thoroughly clear any dust or debris using extraction. Thoroughly check the depth. Now that the rebate has been cut, it is time to cut through the worktop. Remove the 30mm guide bush and replace it with the 40mm guide bush for the final through cut. Replace the jig balancer to avoid router tilt. We recommend not to router cut any more than 15mm depth in a single pass. A number of passes will depend on the worktop thickness. Starting from one corner, gently plunge down to the required depth and start routering at a slow, steady pace, travelling clockwise. Finish the cutout. When the cutout is complete, remove the balancer and offcut, thoroughly clean to remove dust and debris. Do not remove the jig. Check the rebate depth by placing the sink in position with bowls facing up. Remove the jig if the rebate fits the sink. Ideally, the sink installation should be carried out with the worktop installed in its final position, providing there is enough clearance at the sides. Prior to final installation, always carry out a dry fit. Use spacers to pack up if necessary. Mark spacer positions. Dust will contaminate visible sealant. Wipe the sealant contact area of the cutout using a damp wipe to remove trace dust. Clean the sink profile edge using white spirit. Apply a single unbroken bead of matching sealant at the outer periphery corner of the cutout. For this sealant application process, the nozzle will need to be held quite close to ensure an unbroken bead. Apply a second unbroken bead to the centre of the 5mm wide rebate flange. Place the spacers in position, insert the sink and gently push down or round. Check for alignment both at face level and central to the cutout. Adjust if necessary and tighten the sink clips. Do not over tighten, recheck alignment. Firstly, remove the excess sealant from the face using the soft scraper. Recheck alignments. Adjustments can be made within up to 10 minutes after applying BB Complete. Further clean using a clean, lint-free cloth and white spirit. Any voids must be filled now. Gently remove the masking tape if applied, and finally clean the surface using a lint-free wipe and minimal white spirit. Allow to cure for 24 hours before any further plumbing work.